Community Business Development Corporations, Business Financing Support and Advice. Learning Outcome 5. Managers are able to supervise employee onboarding. Learning Outcome 5A. Recognize steps you can take to implement your onboarding plan. Learning Outcome 5B. Discuss important considerations for managing your onboarding plan. Learning Outcome 5C, explain how to integrate the various steps of your onboarding plan. And Learning Outcome 5D, describe some leadership techniques that can make onboarding successful. Managing employee onboarding. This section covers considerations for managing the onboarding process, bringing together the hiring process, development of a training plan, and employee orientation, with a focus on reinforcing best practices and identifying potential challenges. A. After writing out your onboarding plan, how do you act on it? B. What is important to consider when managing employee onboarding? C. How do you integrate each step in the process smoothly with the next step? And D. What are some key leadership techniques to make the onboarding process successful? After writing out your onboarding plan, how do you take action on it? The great thing about a well-structured onboarding plan is that it can walk you through the entire process with ease. Because when you're creating your onboarding plan, you're moving back and forth between the individual steps such as hiring, orientation, training, and creating your overall onboarding plan. You're able to get a feel for the chronology of onboarding and move pieces around as you're creating the plan until it flows naturally from one step to the other, and all you have to do is follow the steps. Be sure to begin working on things early so you have time to put into place all the components of your plan. You want to make sure you have orientation planned, have printed the personnel file documents you need, and arrange training as necessary. Communication is key to effective onboarding. You can talk through what the plan is with a supervisor to clarify that all of the steps in the plan are in the right order and avoid missing any key information, administrative or learning requirements. Having a conversation with the employee's mentor to ensure everyone is on the same page for orientation day and overall onboarding is important as well, so you can address any questions or concerns. If it's your first time conducting onboarding or you're unsure of recent changes you've made to your onboarding process, consider conducting a rehearsal. This can be a mental exercise of visualizing all the steps, conversations, and components of the plan, or a document review to ensure everything is in place, or maybe even having an employee or the mentor physically participate in the steps of the plan to identify and work out any issues. What is important to consider when managing employee onboarding? When you're managing employee onboarding, consider the purpose of the onboarding and always remember what you're trying to accomplish through onboarding. Your objective is to make your employee feel valued and that they're becoming part of your organization, which is a well-run business. You want to demonstrate this by taking the time to integrate them into your organizational culture and their team by ensuring they have the orientation and training they need to be effective in their job. The consequences of a well-designed and executed onboarding plan can be greater employee retention, developing a strong and healthy corporate culture, creating effective teams, and an overall increase in organizational effectiveness if your onboarding focuses on workplace safety, good training, and ingraining best practices. How do you integrate each step in the process smoothly with the next step? In order to smoothly integrate the various components of your onboarding plan and ensure each step flows seamlessly into the others, you should be visualizing the chronology of the components and reviewing the overall plan when it's complete to make sure the steps make sense in the order that they're in. You can verify you have the steps in your onboarding plan in the correct order by practicing or rehearsing your plan, either mentally or having someone physically go through the steps in the plan. Reviewing your plan regularly and updating it if there seems to be something out of place is also important. What are some key leadership techniques to make the onboarding process successful? Overall, onboarding relies on two key leadership qualities, planning and communication. It's important for a leader to be thoughtful and forward-thinking, and this is seen especially in laying the groundwork for an effective business, organizational culture, and team through planning onboarding. Simply taking the time to ensure a new employee's first day goes smoothly will be meaningful to building a successful employment relationship. Communication is the second key leadership technique to ensure onboarding is successful. This includes both written communication through writing the plan and completing the associated documentation, and verbal communication, taking the time to explain the plan to the mentor and the new employee, conducting an initial interview, and providing information about the onboarding process, organization, and job. Having an onboarding plan should definitely be in your overall business and leadership strategy due to the far-reaching benefits. Summary. In this section of the CBDC onboarding course, we've covered considerations for managing the onboarding process, bringing together the hiring process, development of a training plan, and employee orientation with a focus on reinforcing best practices and identifying potential challenges.